If Ukraine's international partners do not support the victory plan, Russia will be the one to benefit, Volodymyr Zelenskyy said at a meeting of European Council at the level of heads of state and government.
Putin wants to match your country's ammunition production by next year. And he's getting help from North Korea with shells, equipment, now even people. And plus Iran. Unfortunately, we are receiving signal that China is still actively helping Russia drag out this war. And we have clear intelligence data. We need to strengthen now. The victory plan is designed for this moment, and I urge all of you to help make it happen. If we start now and follow the victory plan, we can end this war no later than next year.
The victory plan includes 5 points and 3 secret additions, which can be read only by allies. The first point is the immediate invitation of Ukraine to NATO.
Membership does involve a general consensus, at least in terms of the procedures laid down in the NATO Charter. And it's a more complex process of agreement, while the invitation is the start of the procedure, and it's much easier if we are talking directly about membership. But at the same time, it's an important signal. It will stop any discussion on whether Ukraine can integrate during the war or not.
At a press conference before the meeting of NATO Defense Minister, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte assured that the allies are working to bring Ukraine as close as possible to joining the bloc, and Russia has no say in this matter.
They collectively constitute a bridge to NATO membership. So then the question is exactly about the when. I cannot answer that now at this moment, but clearly we are working on all these tracks to make sure that indeed one day they will be a member of NATO.
The next 4 points of Ukraine victory plan deal with defense, strategic deterrence of the aggressor, development of Ukraine's economic potential, and post-war period. Analysts believe that the 5th point is extremely favorable to the alliance. After all, it says that the experience of Ukrainian army after the war can be used to strengthen NATO's defense capabilities and ensure the security of Europe. At a joint press conference with Volodymyr Zelenskyy, the president of European Council Charles Michel assured Ukrainians of EU support.
Your destiny, the future of Ukraine, is within the EU. And last month we have made a lot of progress on both sides. I commend your personal leadership. I commend the way you and your team and the political landscape within the country, you are implementing the reforms that are needed. I think this is very important that the President of Ukraine is very clear about what they need in Ukraine. And on our side, the partners of Ukraine, we have to be consistent. And the words, this is good but not enough. What is needed, this is more military equipment, more technologies, so that the Ukraine are in a position to defend itself against this terrible and blatant violation of the international law.
The Ukrainian president insists that it is time to return the war to Russia. And we are not just talking about attacks on targets on the territory of the aggressor country. A tougher sanctions policy against Russian Federation is one of the conditions of Ukraine's victory plan. Putin's strategy, war at any cost, will inevitably lead the state to economic collapse. Experts believe international restrictions, large-scale losses of the Russian army, and record military expenditures. Russia's war against Ukraine is becoming increasingly expensive for Russian taxpayers.
The draft budget for 2025 includes record military spending of 13.2 trillion rubles, or 38 billion rubles per day. This year, budget spending on the army and security forces totaled 11.1 trillion rubles, which is more than the annual budgets of 80% of Russian regions, from the Moscow Times publication.
The constant increase in payments to contract soldiers is a proof that the reserves to compensate for the losses of the Russian army are running out. Migrants and prisoners who are forced to go to the front are not an endless resource either. According to analysts at the American Institute for the Study of War, the next step of Russian authorities will be partial or general mobilization. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.